They call this the LiberLive C1, a stringless, tri-folding smart instrument that looks like it escaped from a science fiction prop department. No steel strings, no calluses, just pressure pads, velocity paddles, and an app that lights up the frets for you. But I want to find out the $449 question. Is this a legitimate musical companion for creators, or is it just an expensive rock band controller? So I feel like I should give you a little bit of background about my musical past. I've played a guitar since the early 1980s when I traded in an electric piano my brother gave me for a PV guitar with a power amp case. I still have the thing. And over the years, I've learned that I'm not very good at it. I could strum a few tunes, but I was never going to be a rock star playing lead guitar. But that doesn't stop the fact that I just really enjoy sitting down with my guitar and just picking away and trying new things. And every once in a while, I even surprise myself as to what I can actually do. But man, when you don't play for an extended period of time, boy, do your fingertips hurt. And one of the things that appealed to me about the LiberLive C1 was the gadget piece of it. I love to tinker with gadgets. As a matter of fact, I have a whole channel about gadgets, and I just couldn't resist when they offered to send me this device. To find out I didn't just play with this for 5 minutes, I spent 3 full weeks unlearning 40 years of traditional guitar habits to see if this thing is the real deal or a total heartbreak. The presentation out of the box is incredibly premium, very Apple-esque with clean slide-off packaging. Aside from the C1 itself, you get a custom fitted strap, a Type-C cable, the instruction manual, and this highly structured protective carrying case. Everything feels professional, solid, and modern. Now before you can play, you unfold it. The neck snaps out straight, and then you rotate the main body to swing the support frame out from the back. It collapses down from an unfolded 32 by 10.5 by 3.5 inches to a compact 16.5 by 6.5 by 3.5 inches to fit inside a backpack. It weighs about 4 pounds, basically the same size as my MacBook Pro, which, with the included case, makes this a great travel musical device. But once unfolded, you quickly realize how weird of an instrument this thing is. There are absolutely no strings here. Instead, on the neck, you have pressure-sensitive silicone cord pads. Directly underneath each pad are these tiny LED indicators, which we'll get to in a moment. Up here at the headstock, you have the physical transpose knob. Now this is essentially a digital capo. If a song is in a key that doesn't fit your vocal range or the backing style, you don't need to swipe through a phone screen. You physically click this dial to cycle through 7 common keys. Over here, you have the velocity-sensitive dual strumming paddles. These automatically spring back and forth when you flick them up or down. And then there's this, the finger-picking pad. It's fun to say. These are 6 small, independent, touch-sensitive strips that correspond to the 6 individual strings of a traditional guitar. When you hold a chord with your left hand, you can tap these strips individually to trigger single notes or sweep your fingers across them to perform a fluid, finger-picked arpeggio. It's a very clever and fun mechanical attempt to replace traditional finger dexterity with capacitive touch. It's one of my favorite features to play around with. Finally, you have these 2 buttons right where the neck meets the body, the beat pad and the mute pad. If you want to kick off the built-in drum machine, yes, it has one of those, you don't just hit play. The manual instructs you to tap this beat pad while simultaneously strumming any of the main paddles with your right hand. The faster you tap, the faster the rhythm. To kill the beat instantly, you simply tap the dedicated mute pad right next to it. Okay, you know, I think I've been at it long enough where I can remove the stickers now. I think I know where everything is and what everything does, so I'm going to go ahead and make it mine. We'll say I think I am going to miss these markers here for the chords. That may not have been such a good idea. Okay, I believe that gets all of them. On day 1, running completely standalone through its internal 7.5-inch bass-boosted wind tunnel speaker system, this was my immediate reality. So my first major drawback of playing the LiberLive C1 was my muscle memory from playing a traditional guitar. If you whack those paddles like a real guitar string, you get a horrific mechanical clacking sound. The instruction manual that comes with a LiberLive C1 instructs you that these are velocity-sensitive paddles, meaning they respond to the speed and weight of your fingers on the actual paddles. And I had to spend the first couple of days just kind of experimenting and playing with these paddles to make sure that I didn't make a bunch of extra noise, hit them too hard, and it was just very awkward at the very beginning. But over time, you actually start to get used to them and you kind of understand how they work. But I'll tell you, it will take a while for you to unlearn, if you play a regular guitar, how to use the paddles on the C1. And this is where the tinkering begins. The neck features pressure-sensitive silicone cord pads divided into 7 columns. In the app, you can map these to customized chord styles. You have 21 physical zones on the neck to program up to 72 different custom chords. But check this out. When you select a song on the app's intelligent and interactive chord sheet, you don't even need to read sheet music. The app syncs directly to the guitar, and these onboard LEDs light up on each fret to guide your hand in real time. It feeds you the chords you need to hit to play a specific tune. You know, being a product of the 70s and 80s, one of the things I looked for was some synth from the LiberLive C1. I did research the app for a fat analog lead or a retro wave patch. However, the system is strictly limited to acoustic styles. You get, let's see, acoustic guitar, piano, bass, and you get some percussion. The closest you get to an electronic pulse is their Dream Pop style, which is available in the app, which just triggers the same core acoustic instrument samples in a slightly different rhythmic pattern. If you want true retro synthesizer wave texture straight out of the box, you're not going to find them with the C1, which is unfortunate for someone from the 80s who's looking for that cool synthesizer sound. Finding the song is simple. I just search Hotel California in the companion app, tap the star to add it to my favorites. That way I have easy access later. And thanks to these flashing LED fret guides on the neck, I don't even have to memorize the chord changes. The neck is telling me exactly where to press. All I have to do is keep my eyes on the neck. Now let's see how this sounds plugged straight into the studio mixer, as I mentioned earlier. So after weeks of hands-on testing, what's my verdict? Is it a real instrument or just a fancy rock band clone? If you are a desktop music producer looking for an expressive open MIDI controller to map to your custom software synths, this is a clear miss. For a retro tinkerer like me who was hoping to map these beautiful velocity-sensitive paddles to a classic analog Roland synth or a modern DAW, yeah, this is a heartbreak. It's a completely closed garden at $449 retail. The USB-C port is strictly for charging at a maximum of 5 volts 3 amps, and the onboard Bluetooth is locked entirely to their proprietary app. You cannot use it to trigger external VSTs or DAWs. But the C1 isn't trying to replace traditional acoustic guitars. It is an entirely new category of smart instruments. If you are someone who just wants to have an absolute blast making music, but you don't want to spend endless hours building finger calluses and memorizing chord shapes, this was built specifically for you. It keeps the frustration and gets straight to the fun. Now, if you pull this out at your next family campfire gathering, are your friends going to laugh at you? That's the question. Will they judge your musical abilities while you click a plastic dial instead of tuning real steel strings? Honestly, I have no idea, but you'll be having way too much fun playing a perfect multi-instrument rendition of your favorite tune to even care. Let me know in the comments, would you add this to your musical collection of instruments? That's it for me. Retro Combs out.